Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about a rumor that just will not go away, and a connection that's getting made that maybe the dots aren't actually there to make the connection yet, but they will be later because people tried to make them now. It's a really weird situation, and it's worth going over because you will definitely see this material again later. Okay, so here's the question. Bo, I'm wondering if there's any truth to this story I keep hearing because I keep seeing gun nut guys who say they're experts on the internet saying they've seen them. Are American rifles sent to Ukraine being secretly shipped to Palestine? No. No, that's not happening yet. It will later, and we'll get to that. But what's occurring is people are seeing an image, and they're like, hey, I know what that is. And then they're connecting dots. And they're saying, well, the U.S. gave a bunch of them away in Ukraine, so they obviously came from there. Before we get to the technical stuff and the fun stuff, let's start with the easy stuff. The name of the group that everybody thinks has them. Type it into Google. The Palestinian group that everybody's saying has them. Type it into Google and type in the word patch afterward. Click images. That's their logo. It has an M16 on it. But it's not actually an M16. Not really. So, Palestinian groups, they have had weapons that look like American-made M16s or M4s for quite some time. Long enough to where it's on their logo. But they're not American-made. What people are seeing the most right now is not an M4. I know it looks like an M4, but it's not. It's a Fajar. Iran makes a clone of the M4. They also make one of the M16. I can't remember the name of that one, but it looks like an M16A2. I want to say they've been doing it since the 90s. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a company that was pretty popular in the U.S. back in the 90s, used to sell here, but is no longer allowed to, because if I understand the story correctly, they might have sold some to, well, countries that the U.S. really didn't want to have them. So that's actually where they're coming from. Iran is an open and known supplier of these groups, and they make the weapon that they have. For some people, it is an honest mistake. You know, they're looking at it and they look very similar. If you were to take an M4 and a Fajar and put them next to each other, I mean, most people, the average shooter, would not be able to tell the difference just by looking at them. I mean, they're incredibly similar. But that's where they're coming from now. But in the future, there will absolutely be U.S.-made weapons that were sent to Ukraine that end up there. Guaranteed. Because while people were running around with this rumor and provoking outrage and getting clicks, they made the story, but they also made a ready-made Russian intelligence operation. It provoked outrage. And the outrage kind of led people to say, well, we shouldn't be sending Ukraine stuff. If you were Russian intelligence, what would you do with captured weapons? You wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't send them there. Just remember that commentary and rumors like this, sometimes they have real-world effects. Now, realistically, as far as the fighting there, it doesn't matter. There's no shortage of small arms there. That's not something that is in short supply. But I would be very surprised if some didn't show up and then they're found in like an abandoned truck or something. So the numbers get ran and all of that stuff. But what you're seeing now, they're not American made. Now, some of them may be from like, 30 years ago or something like that. But the overwhelming majority, especially the newer stuff, that's made in Iran, not made in the USA. And if you wanted to see this stuff and make the comparison, I'm sure you could go to Wikipedia and type in like Iranian infantry weapons or something like that, and you'd find them. They're there. It's not a secret. It's just not well known, I guess. But the rumor, the desire to provoke outrage, it's definitely going to make Russian intelligence do this. I would be shocked if they didn't. If they don't, somebody needs to get fired, because it is the perfect way for Russian intelligence to try to undermine U.S. support for providing aid to Ukraine. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the initial rumor came from them. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.